This is Mac OS Ken.
Hardware meets the Wobbly macro, a couple of stories on Apple services, and get ready for the big reveal. It is Wednesday, the 7th of September, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Notion, one workspace for your whole team. Learn more and get started for free at Notion.com. This episode is also sponsored by Ladder, smart, dynamic term life insurance. February 13th, April 14th, December 24th. Some big dates have hard deadlines. Have flowers ordered before Valentine's Day, have taxes done before tax day, have presents wrapped before Christmas. Lots of stuff can wait. If you need it, though, waiting to set up term life insurance really isn't one of them. You get insurance so that should something catastrophic happen, something unexpected, your loved ones are taken care of. That makes today the best day to choose life insurance through Ladder. Ladder is 100% digital. No doctors, no needles, no paperwork when you apply for $3 million in coverage or less. Just answer a few questions about your health in an online application that will take you less time than you will spend listening to today's show. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long, proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. There are no hidden fees, you can cancel at any time, and you can get a full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. So go to ladderlife.com/macOSKen today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/macOSKen. ladderlife.com/macOSKen. I argued yesterday that it seems all Apple has to do to make iPhone 14 a success is make and release iPhone 14. Credit Suisse analyst Shannon Cross seems to agree. Barron's ran a piece Tuesday highlighting a note she wrote, likening this year's iPhone to an S model year. She says hardware changes will be minimal, which will be fine. Citing Counterpoint research data showing iPhone controlling over half of the U.S. smartphone market, the report says Cross sees the strong product usage driven by high customer satisfaction and retention, market share shift from other phones, and increased 5G adoption. As for what Apple will announce today, she basically thinks the Pro end of the line will get exclusive features, more advanced silicon, a better camera, and better battery performance. She goes on to say that base models will likely be positioned to support margins using the A15 platform and other components from legacy models. The thing for which she's on the lookout is whether price increases prompted by macroeconomic issues in areas like India and others will negatively impact iPhone adoption in those areas. Watching, but not worrying. Cross used her note to reiterate her outperform rating on Apple shares. Her price target on the shares is $201. While most are not expecting huge changes for iPhone 14, there are sizable expectations for the device. A headline from CNET says iPhone 14 will be the only bright spot in a bummer holiday shopping season. But no pressure. With an anticipated price range of $700 to $1,700, the piece says iPhones historically have good sales, but it's an expectation, not a guarantee. The reality is that the economic situation makes it hard to guess whether consumers will embrace Apple's phones. And while there's enthusiasm among some people for the device, it's unclear whether that can overcome the dour feelings everyone seems to have. Some say items like iPhone will take a hit, according to CNET. Still others indicate that big-ticket items like iPhone will sell well, with fewer little things to go along with them. Take Apple Watch, for example. A note from JP Morgan indicates that the wearable may suffer even as iPhone soars. Apple Insider has the firm saying pricing is a key watch point in a tough macroeconomy, which comprises inflationary pressures and pullback in consumer spending. But we believe it matters more for wearables, which are considered more discretionary purchases relative to iPhone by consumers. With all of the ongoing belt-tightening, JP Morgan expects a few moves from Apple to keep iPhone sales humming. Those include fairly aggressive trade-in offers and a push for buy now, pay later, or BNPL options. Quoting the firm again, there are numerous credit card-based alternatives for paying for iPhone purchases in installments, but the average consumer still remains largely unaware of the BNPL plans. We expect a broader rollout of BNPL, as well as a greater focus on it with consumers, which can help with both switchers and upgraders. Now, pulling back a tiny bit, JP Morgan is up on Apple overall, though the firm's note does have an asterisk or two. Points on which to keep an eye: overall economic conditions or shifting consumer demand could cause greater than expected deceleration or contraction in the smartphone market. There's risk in foreign markets, ranging from tariffs to local competitors undercutting iPhone on price. Also, Tim Cook's going to retire someday. That said, his exit is only a modest risk compared to Jobs' departure over a decade ago, according to the firm, which sees a strong group of executives to support business performance without disruption. JP Morgan has a positive rating on Apple shares. The firm's price target on the shares is $200. As Apple preps to intro new iPhones, the sale of old ones has been banned in one country. 9to5Mac says Brazil has suspended sales of iPhones without a power brick. Apple stopped including the wall warts with the introduction of iPhone 12 back in 2020, citing environmental concerns. Now a report from the Brazilian publication G1 has the government there fining Apple $2.3 million for not including a way to charge the phones that it sells. Additionally, the country's Justice Ministry has called for cancellation of registration of iPhone brand smartphones introduced on the market from the iPhone 12 model and immediate suspension of supply of all iPhone-branded smartphones, regardless of model or generation, unaccompanied by the power brick. 9to5Mac says Apple has not commented on the matter. More news in a moment, but first a word from Notion. One workspace for your whole team, wherever your team happens to be. We've talked for a while now about how helpful Notion can be in this time of hybrid work. At the office sometimes, working from home others. But Notion is great even if you're all together, because people can't always get it together. That's what Notion does. It's an all-in-one team collaboration tool that combines note-taking, document sharing, wikis, project management, and more into one space that is simple, powerful, and beautifully designed. So many companies know and use Notion, and they share the way they use it, building and sharing templates and tutorials so that your team can make the most of Notion right from the start. And the way it works at work can work for you at home too. But find out for yourself. You can get started for free at Notion.com. That's Notion.com to start today for free. Notion. That's Notion.com to take the first step toward organized, productive work and life today. And thanks to Notion for sponsoring today's show. In July, Evercore analyst Amit Daryanani tracked the first month of no growth for the App Store. Now he has tracked the first month of App Store decline. According to a note he wrote last month, the App Store did not show growth in July, the first month without growth since the store's inception. Now a new note highlighted by Apple 3.0 has the analyst saying, App Store revenue declined in August for the first time since the store's inception. The slowdown is most notable in Japan and China, where revenue was down double digits, while the U.S., up 9%, has held up better. No cause for freak out, in his estimation. According to the note, the slowdown should be well understood by investors as the App Store grew only 5% in the June quarter, and Apple guidance indicated services growth should decelerate further in the September quarter. Going forward, Darianani says App Store revenue will likely remain flat or in decline until we begin to see improving conditions in China. We expect other components of the services business to pick up the slack over the long term, and Apple looks to have de-risked the near term with cautious guidance. Darianani has an outperform rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $180. Do you ever do a story on your daily podcast just so you can say, nailed it? Last Thursday, I did a piece on a MarketWatch story that said that site had found 2 recent job postings from Apple that suggest the company is looking to build out its burgeoning ad tech team with folks who specialize in working with small businesses. MarketWatch said Apple was looking to serve the small businesses hurt by the cratering of Facebook ads. Those ended up being not so great once Apple made Facebook ask users whether it was cool to track their online activity, rather than just doing it without telling them. I said a week ago that the hire seemed likely to prompt cries of hypocrisy against Apple and accusations that the company killed Facebook's ad business to bolster its own, and now, please allow me to say, nailed it. A piece from the Financial Times comes to us under the headline, Apple plans to double its digital advertising business workforce, with the subheader, move comes just 18 months after tech giant introduced privacy changes that disrupted market. The piece quotes one ad guy saying, building new ad systems to effectively compete with incumbents with tens of thousands of employees and 10 to 20 years of maturity would normally be an impossible task, unless you are somehow able to disadvantage those competitors on your platform. Meanwhile, the piece has another ad guy saying Apple was being Machiavellian and brilliant by adopting privacy rules that forced rivals to rebuild their ad infrastructure, simultaneously creating an opening for itself to fill the void. They could build out their advertising business dramatically, and the air cover is they are protecting the consumer's privacy, he said. Nailed it. To be fair, the Financial Times piece circles close to Mike Peterson's Apple Insider editorial I mentioned last week. That's the one that says Apple has never been against advertising. It's against invasive data collection. Quoting the Financial Times, Apple has never been against advertising per se. Company founder Steve Jobs even tried to launch an in-app ads business in 2010 so iPhone apps could stay free. What Apple CEO Tim Cook is against is how personal information is bought and sold by opaque third parties without iPhone users giving consent. Still, Apple setting the rules for how ads should work and then expanding into that very area strikes many observers as problematic. Nailed it. A couple of Apple Fitness Plus trainers are hitting the exit. Mac Rumors has word of the departure of Fitness Plus yoga trainer Dustin Brown, as well as core and strength trainer Bettina Gozzo. In a post on Instagram, Brown said he was following and listening to his heart and moving back to Australia. That means his time at Apple Fitness Plus is coming to an end, according to the instructor. Gozzo also took to Instagram to share news of her departure. Offering no reason for the change, Gozzo simply said she was sad to share that her time on the Fitness Plus trainer team is coming to an end. I know you're not likely to forget, but I will remind you, today is the thing. Apple's in-person, far-out media event that you don't have to go anywhere to see. New iPhones are as close to certain as anything can be. New Apple Watch models seem a practical guarantee as well. Do you think there's going to be one more thing? My head doubts it, But my heart... Look, it's the first time Apple has gathered the press in over 2 years. Are they really only going to give them what they're expecting? I'm not saying there will be one more thing, but I do have hope. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern today, Wednesday, the 7th of September, is when the lights go down and the show goes up. You can catch it as it happens on Apple's events page. That is apple.com/events. It'll also be streamable on YouTube. You can catch it on Apple TV if you have one, or on the Apple TV app if you've got something that has that. And almost everything can get it, so it's kind of on you. If you can't make it live, though, or can't figure out the TV app thing, should be up as a podcast Wednesday afternoon. And of course, we will cover whatever Apple announces right here tomorrow. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Ladder, smart, dynamic term life insurance. Learn more at ladderlife.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Notion, one workspace for your whole team. Learn more and get started for free at Notion.com. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I am far out.
Ciao.